So for the rub, you know, Texas style rubs, as many of you know, it's just salt and pepper mainly. I'm from the school of I think it's a little bit more than that. So I like to add a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder. Not a whole lot. The two main ingredients I still try to keep salt and pepper, but I like to add a little bit of extra stuff today, and that's actually what we're gonna do today. I've got this is my SPG, salt, pepper, garlic rub that I'm going to use. And the ratio for this is 4:2 to 1, 4 being kosher salt, 4 parts being kosher salt, 2 parts being granulated garlic, and 1 part being the coarse black pepper. Now you want to use the granulated and the coarse and not like your table pepper that tends to clump up. So. And I'm not, you can use a binder if you like. Some people put mustard, some people put oil. I'm not. We're just gonna let it sweat in a little bit and it's gonna be a-okay. Now I do want a little more pepper. So, Brother Troy, I grabbed your coarse black pepper.
Go for it.
So, I'm just gonna come back.
He'll leave you a bill before you go.
Just come back with a little more pepper.
It's a $10 extra charge.
No, as long as I get a rib to eat later, we're fine.
All right. Troy gets 2 ribs.
Pat it in, don't rub it in. I don't anyway. What happens is you move it around and now you have spots that are uneven. So, and it just makes for a better looking final product.
Let me do a close up because people always ask me how much is enough. So that's about the amount, right?
Yeah. You still want to be able to see the pork underneath.
You can overpower a rib pretty easy.
Yeah, you can. Since it's unlike a brisket that's really thick, ribs are a lot thinner. So, and with the kosher salt being the main ingredient, you can definitely overpower it if you go too much.
I think a lot of times people drop so much rub on a rib that all you taste is a rub. You're not tasting that pork rib, and I think that's a big mistake a lot of people make at home or at competition, either one.
Masking the natural flavor of the good meat.
Right, but you got to be able to taste. I mean, ultimately, you want the meat. Everything that goes on that meat should enhance the meat, not cover it up.
So that's what it should look like. That's how I like it once it's done.
Okay. Yep, just a nice light touch.
James's ribs before he cooks good ribs, so we're gonna eat good today.
They're spot on.
And those are usually different though. I'm keeping simple, but
that's all right. I know the masters at work.
And that's it. I do have another rack that I'm going to do, but we'll do that off camera. And we're going to get them on I believe we're cooking these on the Lone Star grill. I'm not sure what wood we're using. It may be cherry. I think I saw a bag. T-Roy is going to have to let us know what wood we're using. But we're going to get this on the Lone Star, and I think we're cooking at 250 degrees. So it should take, 4 hours maybe. Total cook time is my guess. So that's it. We'll get them on the smoker.
Right, James gonna spritz the ribs. Okay, what is your secret rib spritz formula here?
This is it's just some apple juice with a little water.
A little water and apple juice. Here we go. Look at the nice crust forming on the ribs here. Beautiful. And then these are the little pitmaster snack ones here. I'm gonna steal a piece here.
Yeah, go for it.
And try a piece of pitmaster snack.
Texas style ribs with just salt. SPG.
Good eating. Excellent.
Salt, pepper, garlic.
Hot pepper garlic.
So we're gonna down here. I've got some, just like the pieces that we trimmed off of the ribs.
Brisket bone, the diaphragm flap, and a little bit piece of the bone number 1 and bone number 13. James is ready now to foil his ribs. He's going to show you his red rib style.
Thank you, bro.
Alright, so show them how the crust, how you make sure that it's ready.
So
Go by color or feel?
Color looks great.
Color looks great.
And so I just want to,
Do a scratchy.
yeah, make sure and it's set. It's not coming
Set.
off.
Okay.
So got some nice color on them.
Okay.
Looking good.
How are you going to wrap them?
I'm just gonna in some foil and just a little bit of apple juice and water, just to give it a little bit of moisture in here.
So no Parquet, margarine, butter,
We're
honey. Keeping it simple. Keeping it real. Keep it simple, right?
Keeping it simple, keeping it Texas style. And I'm doing it meat side down because there's still some fat in here that's going to render. And I want it to render through the meat as it's rendering out.
Oh, sorry.
Are you good? So we do
You need to
these
get in your line of sight here.
You're fine, Harry.
meat side down.
That makes a couple of it for you. There.
Again, we got a little bit of more moisture to it.
And that's apple cider vinegar and
A little
water.
bit apple cider vinegar and
Half and half, right?
apple
You like a half and half? I better answer the question because people are going to ask me,
Yeah.
to death. They want to know what's the secret formula. It's half water and half apple cider. But Harry's too cheap. Harry only uses water.
Normally I would double wrap it, but this foil, this Texas tough foil, is really, really thick. So I think we're going to be all right with just one layer of foil. But a lot of times I will double layer it just so that when the bones poke through, when the bones pull back, it doesn't poke through the foil. So it's got some nice color. Now we just want to work on the tenderness.
And how long in the foil?
I'm going to check it. We're cooking at about 275, almost 300 maybe. So I'm going to check it in 45 minutes. And then see from there if we need to go a little longer. If we need to go a little longer, I'll put them back on and for another 15 minutes.
15 minutes,
And
okay.
check them in.
And you want some too, right? This is a cute dog.
These ribs should be done. I checked them a little while ago. They needed about another 15 minutes. We'll see what they look like now.
Good.
Well, we're getting some pullback on these bones. So there's a couple of things. One, I have a toothpick here that I'm just kind of sticking in between the bones and seeing what how the meat feels. I think these are almost there.
Another 10 minutes?
Yeah, probably another 10 minutes. This other rack, we'll see what they look like. And here we're getting, as you can see, so there's a couple things that I'll look for. One is I'll use a toothpick, as a tester to see how tender it is. But also, if you see this, the back meat here is kind of really pulled away from the bones.
All right, we have a blowout.
Yeah, blowout. There you go. These are much more tender. That's another way or another indication that these things are done. And I mean, that toothpick is actually going in there really easily. So I think these are pretty much done. I think the first rack, maybe another 10 minutes. But I think these are good. And I'm actually going to flip them over and see what that meat side looks like. Again, I put a meat side down. But it still has some fat that renders out. And I want that fat to kind of base through that meat. Oh, there you go. See, this bone's already falling out. If I could do this.
Oh, that's pretty, man.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't know if the camera's doing that justice, but these ribs got some really good color on them. All right, so the ribs are done. They've been resting for a bit. This is what they look like.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Nice color.
Beautiful mahogany.
Salt, pepper, garlic. Since they're not sauce, I'm not really worried about messing up the bark by flipping them over to cut them. But, oh yeah.
Looks good. You
Yeah,
can
it
see a
feels
knife glide right through it.
Yeah.
All right, James from AMM and Clem has a special guest, and you want to introduce your special guest and what she's going to do?
This is Bessie Dressy. The Bessie Dressy.
Mega YouTuber.
Yes,
Mega YouTuber, yep.
and she is going to taste a rib with me.
Okay. So you pick the two best ones, and
Rib tip there.
while we salivate behind the camera, you can show us how to eat ribs.
And I don't know if you can pick that up, but I mean, there's plenty of moisture
Yeah, wow.
in these ribs.
Sí.
Yeah, they're juicy.
Uno, dos,
Cheers.
tres.
Okay.
Uno, dos, tres.
It's so soft.
It is. The meat came right off. Just a good, solid Texas rib. Salt, pepper, garlic. Sometimes I do a lot of ribs. And
She wants some. There you go. Okay.
What do
You
you
love
think?
it? What do you think? Good?
Do you approve?
Approve?
Yes.
Yes.
I cook ribs all the time. Probably, easily once or twice a week. And a lot of times I do the brown sugar, honey, when I wrap it and all that. But sometimes it's just really good to just get back to a traditional rib without all that sweetness, without masking it or anything. It's just good. Get the smoke,
It's really good, though.
the salt, pepper, garlic for sure.
I like it that it has like enough flavor. It's not like super flavorly.
Yeah. So you still taste the pork, but
Exactly.
but it's it's got that. I mean, you can pick up the salt, pepper on there. So I think it's just a good solid Texas rib.
Very good. Smoky, salty, peppery. Just a perfect combination of flavor. This is how a Texas rib looks and tastes like. Absolutely wonderful. The tri-tip is done, and brother James is going to slice it for me. So like I mentioned, James, right, the tri-tip looks like a boomerang. So you want to make a cut this way and a cut this way first. And that will basically allow you to slice it against the grain. What is not intuitive is that if it's like a stealth fighter, the grains actually run from nose to tail. So James is going to cut it into 3 pieces first. He's going to pull the center piece aside, turn it 90 degrees, and then slice it across the grain. That way you can make sure that the meat will tear and will be tender. You're going to make a paper thin slices. And this is the characteristic of Santa Maria style tri-tip. We cooked it to be about medium rare-ish or so. Some people like it medium, but I kind of like it medium rare. So it's going to make it very, very thin slices. And we're going to plate it with some pinto beans shortly on this blue plate here. Some people like it with sauce. Some people don't like it with sauce. It's okay, whatever way you like. I like to sprinkle a little bit of final dusting rub on top to balance out the saltiness and flavors so that you get a perfect Santa Maria style bite with the garlicky, the peppery, and the saltiness. And then, of course, the special red oak wood that was used to cook this, or live coastal oak to be exact. So the pinto beans is a bean native to the Santa Maria region, which is the region between San Francisco and Los Angeles. And the beans are kind of small and petite, but they have packed with full of flavor. Bessie, our official taste tester. Okay, Bessie? Again. You can eat it by yourself first and then taste the beans after that. We use the all-purpose, and we use some garlic and black peppers. There's three ingredients on the Santa Maria style tri-tip. We use the moolah rub. I think it's a beef rub. Let me see. It's over here. The moolah rub. It's got Worcestershire powder, citric acid, powdered shiitake mushroom. So it's good for beef. All right. Okay, go ahead and try the beans now. Try the pinto beans. I think it has great flavor. Right, it's good.
They're really good.
So it's a cross between maybe a kidney bean and a white bean.
Stuff, or this is how?
We just add a little bit of jalapeno and onion. And we cooked it with a little bit of garlic, so just to
really
kind
good.
of get a little bit of more flavor into it.
Oh, yeah.
I dig it.
Dig it? Okay, so there you have it. It's California style tri-tip. Added to the pile of 8 or 9 different barbecues we made today. Right? We're all full, but we got to keep going, right?
Alrighty guys, Dogfather here from Dogfather's Barbecue YouTube channel. I'm going to make some cream cheese stuffed meatloaf. When I was growing up, my mom used to make meatloaf quite a bit, lived on a military base, and that was just the thing we had. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little dog feather flavor on it, put a little barbecue on it. I've got about roughly 3 pounds of ground chuck and a pound of ground pork. What I'm going to do here is I put together the seasoning just for the sake of time here with everybody, cooking a lot of different things. Is I went ahead and put some seasonings in here. And so basically what I've got in here, I've got a mixture. I've got some salt, some pepper, some Uncle Chris, some garlic, some smoked paprika. All of that is in here. So that's what I'm going to be sprinkling in, guys. So I'm just going to work that through the meat a little. I'm not going to overwork it. We don't want the meat to get really tough. We want it to break apart before we form it. So I'm going to just keep sprinkling that in. Then at the same time, I've got my veggies here, which I already did beforehand. Basically, got some mushrooms, got some onions, and I've got some sweet peppers in here, and a little bit of garlic. So all that's going to go in the pool, and we're going to mix it together. So as we start to work that together, I've also got some Worcestershire sauce. So we're going to put a little Worcestershire in there. And then we're going to form it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to place it inside the aluminum pans here. And what I'm going to do to stuff it is I'm going to probably put about half in here, fill the pan about halfway. And then I'm going to take cream cheese that I've already got cut. So we're going to take the cream cheese, we're going to set it right inside.
About the size of a stick of butter.
About the size, it's basically a brick cut in half.
Okay.
So I probably went a little overboard on cutting 2 bricks, but hey, it's all good. At that point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little barbecue rub on it, and I'm using barbecue rub from Killer Hogs.
Malcolm Reed, right?
Malcolm Reed.
Okay, good guy.
The rub.
Good stuff. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over. And then we're going to get our next layer of meat put on top of it. Now, we've got that all done. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more rub, sprinkle over top. And then what we're going to do is get it out to the pit. We're going to get it on the smoker. We're going to put some barbecue sauce over top of it, and we're going to let it go.
How long?
Probably going to take about an hour and a half.
And
Between an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're looking for an internal temperature of about 160 degrees.
And what temperature pit?
I think we're running at 275.
275. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. All right, wonderful. All right, homemade meatloaf, man.
The dog father.
A little bit of barbecue sauce on it.
We're going to put some barbecue sauce on top.
Wonderful. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Barbecue meatloaf, man. Delish. Always do meatloaf like this, not on your pit, on someone else's pit, so you don't have to clean. See, that's a little trick.
I do this all the time, man. We'll just let it go.
So if you are at home you're doing this, right? Please put a tray underneath your rib tray so you don't have to.
This is a water cooker. I just fill it with water and flush it out.
Yes, if you have a nice cooker like this, but for those of us who don't have a nice one, a little pan underneath goes a long way. If you have a Wabbit kettle and you do this, right, all that sauce is gonna go onto the bowl, and who's gonna clean the bowl?
No.
Dogs. Yes.
All right, guys. So we got our meatloaf off the pit. We smoked it. What, 275? It's probably been on there for
8 hours.
yeah, something like that. So anyway, so we got the meatloaf off here. Again, it's stuffed with cream cheese. So we're gonna take a slice and see what happens here.
Oh, super tender.
Looks like meatloaf.
There you go.
Whoa.
Move that. Oh, there you go.
Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
The stuff you buy.
Oh yeah. There you go, Harry.
There you go. Get some food porn here. All right.
Yeah, Johnny don't know how to do
Well,
it.
boys,
Here. Get your elbow, James.
that's pretty good stuff. They got a little bit of heat in it. I like that.
Look at that.
I'll tell you what, I really like that that's a lot of cream cheese. I want to take it from everybody. I love the, cheers, bro. Well, it fell off. Cheers. The creaminess from the cream cheese, but the apple habanero sauce.
That's good on it, man.
Yeah.
You knocked it out of the ballpark, man.
Thank you, man.
That's good, Alton.
Thank you.
This is when your mom used to make it?
No, my mom used to make it. It didn't have the cream cheese in it.
Okay.
This is something I just kind of started doing.
Okay.
Because I would actually
All right,
take
here we
it
go.
and put ham. So I'd layer out the meat on a sheet tray. Put cream cheese, whatever.
Cream cheese is a nice touch. Nice little meatloaf.